Right now, homeowners in Denmark pay some of the lowest mortgage rates in Europe. The reason is that Americans got less hungry. A man in Ohio stops finishing his fries. The drug that killed his appetite is Danish. It sells so hard that Denmark's currency strains upward, so the central bank pins interest rates down, and a school teacher in Copenhagen refinances her apartment because of an appetite in Ohio. The drug is Ozempic. The company behind it is a 100-year-old insulin maker. It found the most powerful consumer product since the smartphone, sitting in its own files, listed as a side effect, and has spent a decade trying not to sell it. Why? Also, the molecule's family tree starts with lizard venom. At the 2023 Oscars, Jimmy Kimmel looked around a noticeably slimmer room. He asked, out loud, whether Ozempic might be right for him. 2 years later, Nikki Glaser opened the Golden Globes by calling it Ozempic's biggest night. The real punchline was in the credits. The show was sponsored by Eli Lilly, the rival drug maker. Hollywood's biggest night, brought to you by the appetite industry. Then, it started killing companies. Weight Watchers sold Willpower by subscription for 62 years. In May 2025, it went bankrupt under more than $1 billion of debt. Oprah had already left its board after telling the world she was on the medication herself. You could see this drug from a cash register. Walmart's US chief told investors that customers were putting less food in their carts, a prescription visible in grocery store data. And it went properly feral. Counterfeit pens turned up online and in salons. Salons. The FDA seized thousands of them. One study found nearly half the online pharmacies selling the stuff were illegal. Meanwhile, actual diabetics, the people the drug was invented for, struggled to fill their prescriptions. For almost 3 years, the world's appetite for losing its appetite had outrun the factories. One molecule did all of that. So where did it come from? The answer involves a grudge, a lizard, and a graveyard. The Grudge, 1922. A Danish Nobel Prize winner is touring America with his wife, Marie. Marie is a doctor. Marie has diabetes. In 1922, a death sentence. The news breaks. A lab in Toronto has just made insulin work. She points him at Canada. He comes home with a license to make insulin for Scandinavia and founds a company called Nordisk. Nordisk then fires an employee named Thorvald. His brother Harald quits in solidarity. And instead of finding new jobs, the two start a rival insulin company down the road. Out of pure spite, they call it Novo. The feud runs for 64 years, 2 labs, a short drive apart, sharpening the science of human metabolism at each other. In 1989, they finally merge. Novo Nordisk, the world's biggest insulin maker, powered by history's most productive grudge. But insulin is cheap, and everyone makes it. Nobody gets rich like this on insulin. The lizard. The Gila monster is a venomous lizard from the American Southwest. It can go long stretches without eating. In the 1990s, a government researcher found that part of the reason is its venom, a hormone that mimics a human gut hormone called GLP-1, but it lasts far longer in the blood. His employer, the American taxpayer, declined to patent it, so he patented it himself. Then he spent 3 years pitching it, and every drug company said no. Diabetes treatment, but from a lizard venom? Sounds like a rejected superhero origin. The drug class that would conquer the world spent its first years as an unwanted lizard product. The first drug built on it was approved in 2005. By then, Novo, sharpened by 6 decades of spite, was building its own, longer-lasting versions. And in trial after trial, they kept doing something the reports flagged as almost a complaint. People on them weren't hungry, they lost weight. The graveyard. Any normal industry hears, our product accidentally solves the most lucrative problem on earth, and pops champagne. Pharma reach for a shovel. Because the obesity market has a graveyard with famous headstones. Fen-Phen, pulled in 1997 for wrecking heart valves. Rimonabant, pulled in 2008 for psychiatric harm. Weight loss drugs ended careers on a schedule. So Novo looked at its miracle and did not see a fortune. It saw a lawsuit with the molecule attached. It kept it as a diabetes drug and filed the most valuable effect it had ever produced under known issues. It took one scientist, Lottie Knudsen, to argue the company out of its own filing cabinet. Her words, years later, We invested 25 years while everyone else laughed at us. 25 years is not a bet. That is a personality trait. The bet was enormous. Proving the drug safe for weight meant a huge, years-long trial. A bad result would have poisoned the diabetes business too. It read out clean. The molecule is called semaglutide, and it went to market twice. As Ozempic, approved in 2017 for diabetes, as Wegovy, a higher dose, approved in 2021 for weight. One molecule, two trench coats. Almost every article mixes them up. In the weight trials, people lost around 15% of their body weight. Nausea was common enough that the dose had to climb slowly. Not magic, just close enough that the world treated it as magic, which detonated Denmark. At the peak, Novo's market value passed the output of the entire Danish economy. Its foundation became the largest in the world, twice the assets of the Gates Foundation. Denmark's own statisticians said the economy would have stagnated without it. Exports surged, the krone strained upward. The central bank pinned interest rates low to hold it down. And that is why the school teacher in Copenhagen got a cheaper mortgage. Fries, molecules, exports, currency, mortgage. Economists watched the one company become a small country's load-bearing wall. They gave the danger a name, Nokia risk. Ask Finland how that ends. Novo's next big drug missed expectations. The stock fell 18% in a day. By May 2025, the CEO of 8 Years was out. In February 2026, the sequel lost a head-to-head against Eli Lilly's drug. 23% weight loss against 25.5%. In any other business, a rounding error. In this one, a cliff. Shareholders are suing over how the trial was talked up. A judge has let the case go forward. The company, briefly worth more than its own country, is now worth arguing about. So that's how they made it. A grudge built the lab. A lizard supplied the blueprint. A graveyard supplied the fear. And one stubborn scientist spent 25 years digging the fortune out of the known issues folder. It had waited there politely while the world got hungrier. Now it's a drug you can see in a mortgage rates, grocery carts, award shows, and bankruptcy courts. So here's the question, and I do read the comments. What's the weirdest place you've seen this drug show up? What's the strangest thing it's changed in your corner of the world? Thanks for watching.